What's up, everybody? It's Monday night, it's the late night agenda. I'm your host Craig, and as always, you are very welcome along to tonight's show. I hope you're all keeping well, hope you had a wonderful weekend, hope all the fathers out there had a wonderful Father's Day on Sunday. Congratulations, by the way, to Toronto, if you've anybody from Toronto watching, on winning the NBA championships. The crowds look absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I mean, I thought the Reds knew how to throw a party, and my God, we do. But you know what? Massive love to all the people in Toronto. 2 million people, I believe, lying in the streets. Absolutely nuts. How are we? I hope we're all keeping well. Apologies if a lot of you didn't get notifications, or if you didn't know the stream was going to happen, because there's this weird thing where if we schedule streams from our phones, it never works. And Connor, in his hungover state, because he was at Noel Gallagher last night in Dublin, fair play to him, great night apparently. Yeah, he was hungover. He tried to do it on his phone. Shit didn't work, so here we are. I hope you're all keeping well anyway. So much to get through. So much, ladies and gents. It's only been, 48 hours since we last spoke, and already the rumours are abound. Is that the word I'm looking for? Let me start off tonight's stream by wishing a happy 29th birthday to our European Cup winning captain, Jordan Henderson. Massive love to Hendo. I hope he has a wonderful day today. I hope he had a wonderful day. I think he's on his holiday with his family. I mean, what else would the man want to celebrate his 29th birthday? Has a Champions League winning medal. Will go down in folklore as a European Cup winning Liverpool captain, and nobody can ever take that away from the man. So massive love to Jordan Henderson on his birthday. And also Jurgen Klopp celebrated his birthday over the weekend as well. Massive happy birthday to Kloppo, European Cup winning manager. No, how many? 6 European Cups, ladies and gentlemen. 6 European Cups. Just in case you were wondering, just in case anybody forgot. I know it's something that we haven't been talking a lot about these days on social media and stuff as Liverpool fans. We're very humble like that. We're very good. We don't remind people that 6 European Cups. It's not 5. It's not 4. It's 6 European Cups, ladies and gents. Lots to get through. There's stuff about Bruno Fernandes. There's stuff about Kylian Mbappé. There's stuff about Werner. There's stuff about goalkeepers. There's so much for us to get through, my friends. So much. I hope you're all having a good day. I hope everybody is tickety-boo, as I like to say. I missed you motherfuckers yesterday. Do you know what? 1 day off, and it felt like an eternity. I don't do time off very well. And not only did I not stream yesterday, I turned my phone off for 24 hours. So I just put my phone in a drawer, turned it off, and just had 1 day without social media, or 1 day without having to look at my phone every 30 seconds, because I'm addicted. I'm sure most of you are as well. I was addicted to picking up my phone every couple of minutes and just looking. There you go. Where do you want to start tonight, ladies and gents? We have a little bit of Dembele, a little bit of Fernandes. You let me know where you want to start. This is your show. We'll go through all the topics you want to talk about. Thank you, Jack's page. Really appreciate that. We missed you too. As I said, we did put out a little bit of content for you. We didn't leave you high and dry. We did have the World Club Cup segment, and I hope you all enjoyed that one as well. Connor said, what was this about? 6 times champions of Europe? Yeah, did you not hear that, Connor? 6 times, mate. 6. What was that? Are we? No, we're gone past Bayern Munich, mate. 6 times. Do you know what I mean? They're petty 5. Do you know what I mean? AC Milan and Real Madrid, the only 2 clubs ahead of us. Bruno. Seamus Smith wants to start with Bruno Fernandes. Why not? Seems as good a place as any to start with. So, it's been hit and miss on this one over the past week or two. There's been stuff saying that Liverpool are interested, stuff saying Spurs are interested, a lot of stuff saying Manchester United are interested. Well, reports from Portugal suggest that Liverpool have made a €45 million bid for Sporting Lisbon's 24-year-old attacking midfielder Bruno Fernandes. He's been widely linked with United, as I said, scored 20 times in 33 games last season for Sporting and provided 13 assists, which I believe is a record for the the Portuguese top flight. So, €45 million, around about £40 million, depending on exchange rates. Now, how true this is, I don't know. It's been widely reported, but how true it is, I don't know, because we've heard nothing from the clubs, nothing from either club on this one. I don't even know what the figure is that would get Bruno Fernandes out of Sporting Lisbon. In this market, in this day and age, I would guess they'd probably ask for more than the €45 million that we've apparently offered. But I want to come to you guys on this one. I want to see if there's anything you guys have seen on this, because I always thought I was a transfer hound until I came on here and got chatting to you wonderful people and realised that we're all in this together. We're all as mad about these transfers as each other. What's this? Faye Ponton said, I think he'd be a great bargain for £40 million. Good evening to you, Gonads. How are you, mate? Mbappé Mondays, said Param. Mbappé Mondays, Werner Wednesdays, Fekir Fridays. Do you know what I mean? We're taking up every day of the week. Dembele for 90 million. We'll get to that one as well, don't worry. Ben Washbrook said, I don't think Liverpool are interested in him, as in Bruno Fernandes. Ben, I would have my doubts as well, mate. If I'm being honest, I would have my doubts. I think we'd be more looking for somebody to play across the front three than an attacking midfielder. But let's just wait and see what everybody else thinks. 45 million will be a bargain, said Liam Hunter. Finally, we put in a bid, said V8 Van Dijk. Hard to tell if Fernandes is brilliant or a long shot merchant, said Connor Crosby. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've watched very little of him. I've seen a few things of him playing for Portugal, and he does like a long shot, Connor. As you said, he does like to test the waters. Craig, any player that doesn't want to sign for Liverpool can fuck right off, said Stephen Richards. And I'm with you, buddy. You know I'm always with you on stuff like this. Joseph Hambley said, I'd pay 45 million euros from no doubt in this market. Liverpool legend said 45 million euro is a bargain. Yeah, LFC J06, apparently Harry Maguire is going for £80 million, mate. I know. And I've also heard stuff coming out of United that said they'd go to 90 if needs be. And we know that they've also had a £50 million package turned down for Wan-Bissaka as well, which I think was £35 million up front and 50 million in add-ons. And I think 50 million might get Wan-Bissaka, but I think they want 50 million guaranteed to them, if you know what I mean. Gonads, I'm tickety-boo, mate, as always. I'm flying, buddy. I'm glad to be back on chatting with everybody. And 90 mil, look, we'll get to Dembele. Don't worry, I will get to Dembele, ladies and gentlemen. Forget Fernandes, said Eshin. Yeah, to be honest, like I honestly don't know. As I keep saying, I don't know who we're in for and who we aren't in for. But as I said, it has been widely reported, mainly out of Portugal, from what I can gather, that 45 million euro bid went in, but no sign of a response. 45 million euros doesn't sound legit, said Jonathan Moore. I thought they wanted 60 million from him, said Liz Golden. My friend, I have not got a clue. I'm just, as I said, I'll just gather up the little bits of news that I can and put it forward, and we have a conversation about it, and we kind of see if we can come to a conclusion of whether it's bullshit or whether it's legit. He's a player that's been linked for a while now. I think there's better out there. There's more proven talent out there. I'd like to see us going and getting proven talent. Andrew Childerhouse, I keep saying Childerhouse, mate, don't I? Said hello to all you beautiful Reds. Kings of Europe said Liverpool are only testing the waters with 40 million. Craig, how's your day been? Sean, it's been good, thank you, my friend. My daughter finished up her junior cert today, so her exams, and she's happy. She's off for the summer now. She can relax, all the exams out of the way, and I know a lot of people watching are doing exams as well, whether that be in secondary school or whether you be in the UK or Ireland or wherever it is. I hope your exams are going well if you're sitting them. Big man Steve said things have gone really quiet with Chukwueze. Yes, but quiet isn't necessarily always bad, mate. We know with Liverpool sometimes quiet can be a good thing. Ella, how are you, my friend? Great to see you in again as well. Joanne Fisher, how are you? Has that bid for Fernandes been rejected? Nageb, I've seen nothing on an answer from this, mate. Just the reports that the 45 million euro bid went in. We've also seen mad stuff, I'm sure you've seen it as well, particularly if you're on Twitter, about planes being tracked from Lyon to Blackpool, and then a plane gone from Blackpool to Liverpool, and then somebody said today that a private aircraft landed in Liverpool John Lennon Airport. I mean, this is madness altogether. I mean, tracking planes, I know we did it last year for the laugh, but is this now becoming the norm with transfers? Is this what we're doing? We're tracking flights from all around Europe into Blackpool, Liverpool, Manchester and anywhere else? I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it, but I'm not going to be the motherfucker that's going to be watching flights going around Europe. Craig, how are you? But just came on, didn't you stream yesterday? I was waiting for a good stream. No, Nathan, took the day off, mate. Needed it, to be honest, absolutely exhausted. It's been a crazy 6 weeks for the channel. I was just saying to the guys earlier on, 6 weeks ago, we averaged about 2,000 to 2,500 views for a stream like this, a late night stream. The last couple have been in and around 10,000, which is absolutely nuts. Like, I'm not complaining, but that's why I didn't want to take a night off. I did want to take a night off because I don't like letting people down. But it was Father's Day, I was exhausted, and I did need it. And do you know what? I feel the better for it, so I'm glad that I did. Mane Mondays, Trent Tuesdays, Wijnaldum Wednesdays, Timo Thursdays, Firmino Fridays, Salah Saturdays, and Shaqiri Sundays. It's Fekir Fridays though. Come on, mate. It's got to be Fekir Friday. Claire, how are you, my friend? What have we got? It's pretty quiet in the window so far, especially for Liverpool. Mark said, hi Craig, how are you? As always, Mark, I'm great, mate. I'm absolutely great. I hope you're doing well. Boy is in the house as well. How are we, Anthony? How's things with Leicester City? I'd seen some positive stuff for you guys with Yuri Tielemans. Apparently Spurs are pulling out of that because they're looking for Ndombele and that Lo Celso guy as well. So does that leave you perhaps in a better position to try and sign Yuri Tielemans on a long-term deal? My exams are Wednesday till next Thursday, said Big Man Steve. Well, I wish you all the best with them, mate. I hope you knock it out of the park. Ella said Coutinho not going near United due to respect for Liverpool. I tell you what, Ella, I read that earlier on, mate, and I did burst out laughing. I'm not going to lie. When I see the phrase Coutinho and respect for Liverpool, I just think, fuck off. Honestly, come on. Then the next thing I read then is that he's interested in a move to Chelsea. But I think it was reported from Goal, the move to Chelsea. Now, I think they were reporting it via somewhere else, but nobody in these conversations had ever told them that Chelsea can't sign players this window. Well, technically they can sign players, they just can't register players, which would mean Coutinho sits in Chelsea for a year training, doing nothing. I think Arda Turan did that for 6 months actually for Barcelona at one point. Done deal, Fernandes, agent in Friday, 40 million plus add-on to Elizabeth Walker. Nobody has a clue, to be honest, at Oisin McGovern. And Oisin, you're right, mate. And this is what makes it all funny. People pretend that they do know what's going on. But I think, to be fair, a lot of what I would class as ITKs have even got their shit together. And a lot of them are just passing on the bits of information. I don't think anybody's really making many bold statements in this window because I think it's just common knowledge these days that Liverpool don't really get their transfer business done. They don't air their dirty laundry in public, which is great. It's how it should be. Plane spotters, said Aidan Andrews. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool fans, mate. We spot planes, Mercedes Vito's, vans, agents, smoke screens, you name it. Liverpool fans are all over it. Calvin, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. Is Real a threat? In what sense, Riley, mate? You mean Real Madrid? It's gonna take. I think even with them, mate, it's gonna take a while to rebuild there. I can't wait for the new season already. Let's win the Premier League once, said Brian Fitzsimons. Yeah, we gotta do it, mate. Gotta do it. And I think we're in with a really, really, really good chance this year because I think external forces around Manchester City might cause them a little bit of a headache. Now, we know they've got a potential Champions League ban hanging over their heads. Now, that most likely won't be for this coming season. In fact, I would go as far as to say it won't be for this coming season. It'll be scheduled for next season. Now, whatever goes on there with their appeals and the legal process, that'll happen in due course. But it would be naive of us not to believe that this would have some impact on Manchester City and might allow us to nip in there. You know what I mean? Nip in there and get that Premier League title, because if they know they might be facing a potential ban next season from Europe, they're going to go balls out this year to try and win the Champions League. And if they take their eye off the ball one bit, then we've got to capitalise and we've got to try and get that Premier League title and more trophies as well. I don't just want us to be going into this season looking to just win the Premier League title. We're capable of more. We showed that this season. We'll get to Mbappé. Don't worry, ladies and gents. We'll get there. We'll get to Dembele. We've got lots of stuff. We've got some stuff on David Neres as well. What else we got? We're looking at Tokes from Besiktas, or Tokos from Besiktas. Looks like a smart boy in the current state. Yes, I think it's us, Finley, Arsenal and Udinese, if memory serves me correct, that we're looking at this guy. Attacking midfielder. Don't know too much about him, mate, other than what I've googled, to be fair. What else we got? Lucas Moura is linked with us. I've not seen that, to be honest, Adam. I'd seen some Eriksen stuff to Liverpool, and I'd also seen that Christian Eriksen apparently turned down the interest of Manchester United, and could you blame him, to be fair? What's your verdict about Sarri leaving Chelsea? I think he could say it was a job well done at Chelsea. If I'm being honest, mate, he went in there, he got them Champions League football via the league, and he won them the Europa League, and he got them to the final of another cup competition. So that was his first trophy, his first major trophy as a manager. And do you know what? I think he can look back at that and say he did his part there. He did a decent job. The Juve job for him will probably suit him, to be fair, back to Italy. I think he'd be a good manager for Juventus as well. What else? I think Dembele will move to Liverpool, said Max Warrior. Right, let's get on to Dembele, because I know everybody wants to have a chat about Ousmane Dembele. Let me just get my notes open here on this one. Okay, where is my notes on Dembele? Nope, don't have notes on Dembele. Anyway, I don't need notes on it because I know the story here. So the story goes that Barcelona are willing to let Ousmane Dembele go for the 90 million quid that they paid for him. Liverpool have been strongly linked again in some media circles today. Now, I don't again know. I would put this in the same bracket as Memphis Depay in that there's an attitude problem there with Ousmane Dembele. And it's not an attitude problem that we think is there. It's an attitude problem that's been proven to be there. I listened to a piece that Guillaume Balaguer did a while ago about basically him being told by Barcelona to knuckle down or piss off. And we know that he disappeared as well when he was at Borussia Dortmund trying to force through that move to Barcelona. And look, I've got to be honest, players have done that to join Liverpool as well. For me, on this one, Jurgen Klopp will know the kid. And if Jurgen Klopp feels that he could work with the kid and he could settle him down, then talent-wise, I think Ousmane Dembele will be a very good addition to this Liverpool team. He's still got a lot of development to do. I think... Do you know what? I think the 90 million quid, I'd rather pay for him than Coutinho, if I'm being honest. I'd much rather pay it for him than Coutinho. Coutinho's 27 now, I believe. So Dembele, nowhere near his prime yet. Still got lots of development to go. Barcelona will look to be freeing up some money. They've brought in Frankie de Jong. It looks like they're bringing in Antoine Griezmann. There is very strong talks about them trying to get a deal in place that would see Coutinho go to Paris Saint-Germain and see Neymar go back to Barcelona. So again, all this costs money and will involve them having to free up some cash. So maybe selling Ousmane Dembele would be a good move. What do you guys think on this? I have to be honest, attitude aside, and I know that's a big if we can just push the attitude to one side, Ousmane Dembele for me will be a sound piece of business for Liverpool Football Club, and if Jurgen Klopp's happy with his attitude, I have no problem signing him, none whatsoever. Simon said Dembele for 90 million, far too much money. I honestly don't think it is, mate, in this market, and it sounds ludicrous to say that, and I completely understand where you're coming from, but in a market where Wan-Bissaka could go for 50 million quid, and where Eden Hazard, with 1 year left on his contract, is potentially going for 130 million. It's difficult to gauge what value is. I've always said that as long as Liverpool can afford to buy a player and it doesn't put us under any stress with regards to FFP and stuff like that, then as fans, should we really care? A couple of people on social media have been saying, well, Barcelona owe us 30 odd million for Coutinho. True, but that doesn't mean wiping that 30 odd million off means that there was never 30 odd million there in the first place. They still owe us 30 million. That 30 million will be on our balance sheet. That will be in our accounts. So Barca wiping that off doesn't mean jack shit. It's still 30 million quid at the end of the day, and 30 million quid that the club would have already accounted for or projected for. So it's not as simple as just saying wipe the 30 million quid off the Barcelona owe us and give them 50 or 60 million. It doesn't work like that. Finances just don't work that way. But at the same time, I never thought I'd say this, but I can see sense in it. Except for the attitude, I can see sense in it. What else we got? Dembele suits Klopp, Coutinho doesn't, said Brian Morrissey. We don't need a player who is a I am bigger than the club type of player. Yes, absolutely. But there is a caveat to this a little bit in his case. He's young still. Now, not young enough that he shouldn't know better. I grant you that 100%. But he's still young, and I think getting to a club like Liverpool where everybody else has this amazing work ethic and there's this really happy vibe around the club, some players need an arm around their shoulder, and I don't know Ousmane Dembele, but maybe he's one of those players that needs an arm around his shoulder. Maybe a Klopp hug, a word from Henderson and Milner, maybe that will help him out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting carried away with myself here. Maybe I'm just hoping for too much. Dembele is a pace merchant, said Param. Yeah, I've seen somebody call him the French Walcott earlier on, which made me laugh. Where will Dembele play? Again, we can't think of anything from a starting 11. Even if we're going to bring in a player that costs potentially 90 million quid, I think you'd have to look at it this way. It's one thing us saying he's 90 million, fair enough, but what's the value of the front three we currently have? And I would say every single one of those is above 90 million quid. From the set in this for Mane and Salah, infinitely more. I mean, you're probably going towards 150 there. And Bobby Firmino, I would say, in my eyes, is a 100 million quid player. That's my opinion. So he would have to fight for his place. But at the same time, we spoke about the amount of games Liverpool could potentially have this season, and if we went as far as we could in all competitions, you're looking at a total of, I think, 72 games, something like that. So he's going to get a chance. No matter what happens, he'll get a chance, and he'll get a chance to rotate, as of course will Ryan Brewster, and then we'll have to see what happens with Origi if he'll sign a contract extension. But this is all if, ands or buts, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? This is all up in the air talk. LFC should go all out for Ligt, Werner, backup goalkeeper plus Fekir. Yeah, we're not going to do that, Imran. That's just not going to happen, mate. There's no way Liverpool are going out and dropping 70 million on Ligt, 50 million on Werner. The backup keeper, fair enough. And then Fekir. You're talking... I think, you're not a million miles off at your figures there. I'd say maybe 5 million extra for Ligt and 5 million extra for Fekir. But either way, you're talking 145 million quid, mate. Which is a lot of money, but we are looking to bring in maybe 100 million potential. I just don't see us going for Ligt. I think that one's forgotten about. It seems to be between PSG and Barcelona. More likely Barcelona. Coutinho suits us more than Fekir. Does he? I mean, really does he? And I'm not being smart here, buddy. Think about it. When Coutinho was here, and I don't know about you and your mates, but I can certainly say myself and my mates, I've had the conversation many times about Coutinho being a luxury player. And I kept saying when he was here, would he be a player that Jurgen Klopp would have gone out and bought to put in a Liverpool team? And do you know what? I don't think he was. Now, he's a great asset to have at a club. If you come in and you've got a player like Philippe Coutinho there, then you're going to make use of him. Of course you are. But at the same time, we got better when Coutinho left because other players didn't just look for that out ball to Coutinho. They didn't just say, hey, we're in and around the box, let's give it to Phil, let Phil have a pop shot. People like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and the other guys start taking more responsibility, and that has brought them on leaps and bounds. So I would say stay away from Coutinho at all odds. I mean, he's 27 as well, let's not forget, so he's in his prime right now. No future sell-on value there. So for me, I would say Dembele, Fekir would be more sensible than Philippe Coutinho. A lot of French players are divas. We don't need divas, said Lee. Dembele would be a good addition to the team, said Erkan. And hello, Erkan. I'm not sure if we've ever spoke before, buddy, but welcome in. I want Werner a lot, said Big Man Steve. I've got a little bit on Werner, mate, that I'll get to. I'll touch on in a few minutes. Pepe off to Bayern, I think. It seems for me, Bayern have all their eggs in the Leroy Sané basket, Adam, from what I've seen, mate. On Timo Werner, actually, because I only have a little bit on him while we're talking about him. Liverpool are the favourites to sign Timo Werner now. Even at favourites, we're talking 9-4 here, so let's call it 2-1. But then the interesting thing is the next favourite is Bayern Munich, and they're 10-1 to sign Timo Werner in this window. Now that suggests one or two things. Well, one of three things. One, the bookies have it completely wrong. Two, they've no interest in him. Or three, they're willing to wait, like we spoke about before, and let him run his contract down and try and get him on a free next year. So that there is three trains of thought there, I suppose, on Timo Werner. Liverpool 9-4 favourites to sign him in this window. Again, take from that what you want. Craig, I'm starting a Liverpool career mode on FIFA. What should I buy and who should I sell? Mate, I've never played a career mode on FIFA in my life, so you're asking the wrong person, Sean, I'm afraid. Zaha will be better than Dembele for us, said Brian Fitzsimons. Look, Zaha's a very good player, Brian. I'm not going to run down that kid whatsoever, and probably be cheaper as well. Actually, I would say he will be cheaper. I think 60-65 million was the price on Zaha. So yeah, I can understand that as well. I mean, I'd have no issues with Zaha coming to Liverpool either. Craig, do you think that we should sell Salah for 150 million, then sign Dembele or Mbappe, then get Fekir, and a good centre back like Marquinhos? Isn't Marquinhos like 34, 33, something like that? Or am I thinking of the wrong? Or am I thinking of Thiago Silva? I know one of the PSG centre backs is like really old. We have good centre backs, by the way, Nathan. I don't think we need to go out and drop that much money. If we went out and bought a centre back for serious money, what's that saying to Kiana Hoover? That we don't rate you, that you're not going to get your chance? I don't think it's the right thing to do. If Dejan Lover moved on, I've said for me, somebody like an Alderweireld or something, a short-term fix for a couple of seasons would be great. What else have we said? Sell Salah? No. If we were to sign Mbappe, I said yesterday I would sell Salah to sign Mbappe. Some people disagreed, and that's sound. I absolutely understand where you're coming from. He's the only player in the world I would consider selling Mo Salah for, but it's not going to happen. I actually have something on that. The chairman of PSG spoke, so bear with me 2 seconds. Paris Saint-Germain president Nasser Al-Khalifa has said that Kylian Mbappé will 200% be at Paris Saint-Germain next season. So without a shadow of a doubt, he said Kylian Mbappé will be staying at PSG next season. He also went on to speak about how no more diva behaviour will be acceptable at Paris Saint-Germain, and that they want players to knuckle down. And Neymar, I think, is 27 years of age, which is why it makes more sense for them to push him on to Barcelona and maybe try and get Coutinho in, because when he was at Liverpool they tried to sign Coutinho on a couple of occasions and he turned them down. And how ironic is it now that the club that he turned down is possibly the only option for him, realistic option for him, after leaving Liverpool for his dream move. It just goes to show you the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and hopefully it's a lesson learned for Felipe Coutinho here on this one. We're almost 500 people in the chat, guys. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in and joining us. I missed you all yesterday, I really did. And thank you for everyone that sent some kind messages, by the way. Loads of people. I don't know what it was about yesterday. Loads of people just sent some really nice messages to us. Mbappe spotted next to a VW Beetle. Everyone thinks he's coming to Liverpool today. What's this about Salah leaving for Juve for 150 million? Absolute bullshit is what it is, Epic. Mo Salah ain't going anywhere, let alone Juventus. Why would he go backwards in his career? That would make no sense whatsoever, to go to Juventus for 150 million. The only time I remember anything coming up in the media about that was when there was a link to Paulo Dybala coming to Liverpool and Mo Salah going the other way. But even at that, it was horseshit. It was never going to happen. What else have we got? Dembele is a luxury sign-up for 90 million with a bad attitude. It'll never happen. What else have we got? What about Liverpool's under-23s playing in the Checkatrade Trophy? Yes, I thought I covered this the other night, Stephen, but you know what? I may have forgotten about it. Liverpool's under-23s and Manchester United's under-23s will play in the FA Trophy or the Checkatrade Trophy or whatever it's called these days, which would be good experience for them. And it's good because sometimes there's a lack of competitive action for the under-23s, so for them to get a chance to play in a competitive competition against clubs from League One and stuff, I think it's a good move. The club turned it down this year, but they've accepted the spot for next year, so again, I think it's a good move. Mbappe said 300% he'll leave, said Alan Phillip. Maybe this is a bit of brinksmanship, mate, between the guy that runs PSG and Mbappe, I don't know. Craig, you look like our dad. I don't know how old you think I look, mate, but I'll take it. I'm 37, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. I've said this a few times. Rafa the Gaffer's in. How are you, mate? Am I going to watch Glastonbury? I probably will, if it's on the old television. If it's on BBC again, yeah, I probably will. I've been watching some of the Isle of Wight Festival as well, which has been quite good. I'm so glad we're not signing De Ligt. I'd much rather Gomez to partner Van Dijk, said Alan Parks. Yeah, the more I've thought about this in the cold light of day, the more I understand people's argument that it would almost be spending money for the sake of it, because Joe Gomez is probably as good as De Ligt is right now, if not a smidge better. But either way, I can understand why Klopp wouldn't go and spend that much money on another centre back. Let me just catch up with everybody else. I see there's some issues with Imran. I mean, we can cover that. I think Brian's dealing with that with regards to the spanner, mate. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen your replies, but I'll talk to Brian afterwards. Dembele 90 million. Liverpool won't go for that, said Bilal. Any gossip from other clubs? Yeah. So United, Wan-Bissaka. We spoke about that. Paul Pogba. He's come out. He's in China, I think. I think it's China. Doing a bit of a brand tour or something like that for Adidas, and I think it's Adidas. Yeah, it is Adidas. And he said that he would like a new project. So there's talk of Juventus and there's talk of Real Madrid. And he has said before that he'd like to play for Zinedine Zidane. But again, with Real Madrid, it's going to be about how much money they can free up, isn't it? What else is there? Spurs looking like Lo Celso. They're looking like they're going to go for him and Ndombele. They're the two players that seen linked there. I don't think there's really anything else. Manchester City are bringing back some 30-something-year-old goalkeeper as backup, I think. Yeah, I think that's about it. Arsenal, AC Milan were linked with Torreira, but Arsenal don't want to sell, which you can understand. I mean, why the hell would they? I think that's all the little bits I have from other clubs, but like so much Liverpool stuff to get through, ladies and gents. So do keep your comments coming on Dembele for a possible 90 million, and what we spoke about at the start of the stream as well was, what was the other one? Oh yeah, Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes. Apparently, reports in Portugal say that Liverpool have stuck in a 45 million euro bid. Do you think that's true or not? Craig, will you be getting the away kit? No, not for myself, mate. I don't really look that great in white. My son got it. It's quite nice. It's not too bad on him, but it wouldn't look great on me. Seeing Coutinho linked with Spurs. I haven't seen that personally. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they could cover his wages. I don't know if they'd have the money it would take to get him. Yeah, be interesting though. I mean, as long as he doesn't go to United, I don't give a shit what Coutinho does. Spurs won't pay that, said Seamus. Gomez is an absolute brilliant defender. We don't need Ligt, said Ryan Harris. Champions of Europe, we know what we are, said Mr. Crosby. So tired of this Ligt saga. Wish he'd choose and go somewhere already. Yeah, I think the truth behind this Cape Town Muslim is probably that it was always Barcelona, and his agent just wants his greasy palms greased to the tune of 11 million quid, and it seemed like stories coming out were that Barcelona didn't want to pay that much. So Mino Raiola seemed to be hawking him around other clubs. You'd seen him linked to Liverpool, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, probably a few other clubs that I haven't even noticed. But yeah, I think Barcelona is most likely for him. What else we got? Didn't see any games today. Not feeling too good, so working and resting in bed, but definitely going to watch the game tomorrow. How are you, Domestic Butler? I know you said you were unwell, mate. I hope you feel better soon. How was my Father's Day? It was alright, Ibrahim. Yeah, it was quiet. We don't really buy into the Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day stuff, to be honest. But it was nice. It was nice to spend the day with the family and just not have my phone to distract me. Your son looked happy and proud of his kids. He's absolutely loving it, Liz. He's loving it. Dave Henry got him a Champions League final scarf when he was over in Madrid, and that arrived in the post today as well. So that was there from when he came home from school. He's it's been a great little time for my son. For those of you that don't know, I have a 7-year-old son called Lucas, and Lucas has autism. And he's only started getting into football really. He's always had Liverpool kits since he was a baby, but he's only started to understand and get into it over the past few months. So he got the wonderful scarf from the 12men.com as well, which I do say check out, guys, if you haven't done it so already. The 12men.com sell these beautiful singing scarves, kind of the first of the kind. You press a button on it and it sings a song. So Lucas's one sings the Mo Salah song. And if you want to go over and check them out, by the way, we're giving 3 away on Wednesday. 1 on here, 1 on Twitter, and 1 on our Instagram account. So if you haven't entered, to enter on here, all you have to do is be subscribed. Really straightforward. On Twitter, there's a pinned tweet with the competition details. And on Instagram, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I gave Kev free reign on Instagram to come up with whatever he wants, because Kev runs the Instagram account. And apparently the way to enter on Instagram is to give him your best Craig impression. I'll leave that up to him to judge. I'm having nothing to do with it. But if you do go to the 12men.com, ladies and gents, and you want to check out one of these scarves, if you put in Anfield Agenda at the checkout, you'll get a 10% discount. And also, the 12men.com will give £1 from every sale of every scarf, regardless of what club it's from. Once you use the code Anfield Agenda, they'll also give another £1 to a mental health charity as well, which is a beautiful touch from Paul and the guys there. So, much love to them. I'm a Spurs fan. I don't want Coutinho, said Alan Phillip. There you go, straightforward. Who do you want, buddy? You liking is it Lo Celso? Is that the guy's name? Link, and also I'd seen you linked to, who did I say earlier on for Spurs? I can't remember who the other fucking player was now for Spurs that I'd seen you linked with. Yeah, sorry, can't remember. Even though I said it a few minutes ago, I can't remember who it was. Agunzi said, from a purely developmental point of view, Liverpool will be the best destination for Ligt. He'd be in the first team under a great coach known for developing younger players, and playing against high calibre opposition. Also playing with Virgil van Dijk could be great for him, but the money could be too much. The problem for me there, mate, was always going to be his wages. I mean, what do you give a 19-year-old kid now that you're going to spend 65 million quid on? It's got to be minimum 150 grand a week. So what does he do in 18 months or 2 years time? Then what does he do when he's 23, 25? I mean, the wages would just get ridiculous very quickly. Are we getting Bruno Fernandes? I don't know for certain, mate, but as I said at the start of the stream, there have been rumours coming out of Portugal that Liverpool lodged a €45 million bid with Sporting for Bruno Fernandes. What the hell is that flying around? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But guys, bear with me. There's so much to get through, and you know what? I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as I can. So David Neres, somebody we haven't spoken too much about on the stream because things have gone quite quiet, but a few things have come out today that said The Telegraph, which I believe is a Dutch paper, spelled like TELG or AAF. Ajax would demand more than £80 million for David Neres this summer, according to The Telegraph journalist Marcel van der Kraan, I believe the gentleman's name is. And Neres scored 12 goals last year for Ajax, has been attracting the interest of clubs all around Europe, and is over with Brazil in the Copa America at the minute. 80 million quid, that would be a massive pass for me, I have to say, for David Neres. As much as I've spoken about my admiration for him and how I think he'd work, 80 million quid, he's not proven to be worth anywhere near 80 million quid yet for me. I just think that's too much. And I don't know, maybe if there's negotiating there, but you'd want to be getting that figure down towards 50 for me to make that a realistic deal. But what do you guys think? David Neres, maybe you've watched more of him than I have. I've only seen the bits and pieces of him this season with Ajax in the Champions League. And look, he's been impressive. I'm not going to deny that, but 80 million plus? That seems a bit rich. Craig loving the jersey. How do you rate today's transfer rumours? Interesting, Sean. And hello, Sean, by the way. Interesting is how I'd rate them. They're starting to heat up now, aren't they? Things are starting to heat up, and I think we will... I've been saying this for a few days, but I think we're getting closer and closer. Kloppo will have had his little weekend away in Vegas. Players are having their time away. Some players of the AFCON, Mo Salah's Egypt won 2-0 against Guinea in their game, so well done to them. Mo Salah, I think he set up one of the goals at least, if memory serves me correct. I only very quickly seen highlights of it. Wait, how much for Neres? It seems 80 million, mate, according to a journalist from a Dutch paper called The Telegraph. No chance of Mbappé? No, Shawnee, that's just not going to happen, mate. And the guy who runs Paris Saint-Germain has come out and said it's 200% he's staying at Paris Saint-Germain. I'd assume that price is only there to stop people picking Ajax's squad apart, said Dave Davidson. Yeah, they probably will have to put their foot down, mate, at some point, because they've lost De Jong, they're losing De Ligt. Van der Beek is another player who a lot of people are looking at. Their goalkeeper has actually been looked at by a few clubs, including Manchester United. Then you've got Neres, then you've got Ziyech. Yeah, so you're right. They probably are trying to lay down a marker and to say, look, some players we understand may move on, but we're going to keep hold of a good bit of this squad because, you know what, we have a Champions League campaign to get through as well. Big Man Steve said, I don't care as long as we get Werner. It's gone really, really quiet on the Timo Werner front from Liverpool. Even though, as I did say a while ago, we are favourites with the bookies to sign him. And a good bit ahead of the next place team, which is Bayern Munich, who are at 10-1 and we're just above 2-1. But again, that means nothing other than money's gone down. I would buy Fernandes, Dusan Tadic, Pepe, Reina, Sessegnon from Fulham. Fernandes, I don't know about, as I said, mate. I haven't seen enough of him. Dusan Tadic, ridiculous if we were to buy him. He's 31, 32 years of age. And he's just started to blossom at Ajax. I mean, if I'm him, I'm not leaving Ajax because he's in a good part in his career right now and things are working out for him. Pepe Reina, I've said all along, Alex, I'd love Pepe Reina to come back, mate. Can you imagine him and Alisson Becker working together on the training ground, on distribution, teaching Queevy and Kelleher, Camille Grabara, Shamal George? I mean, it would be perfect. And Sessegnon from Fulham, again, Spurs is the club that I'd seen linked with a move for him. Want Bruno Fernandes so bad, said Seamus Smith. I'd put 75 million max for Dembele, said Eclipse. Yeah, I think they're going to want back roughly what they paid for him, to be fair, which is around the 90 mark. I still think there's value in that, though. I really do. Not saying that he's a 90 million quid player yet, but there's a lot of untapped potential in that kid. Ajax should be alright with the De Jong and De Ligt money, said Aidan Andrews. Yeah, I mean, you're talking what? Probably 130, 140 million quid from those two. Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it, for two young players? Who the fuck gets a private jet from Lyon to Blackpool, said Connor. I don't know, mate. It's madness. But you gotta love the plane tracking. Don't you think Werner would be a better signing for like 60 million? We shouldn't be paying 60 million for Timo Werner with 1 year left on his contract, mate. Because RB Leipzig are trying to get him to sign a new contract with a 50 million euro buyout clause. And that would extend it to, 4 years? So you'd imagine you'd get him now for about 40. What's your opinions on the apparent Bruno Fernandes offer? I've read into him a bit and he seems to be top class, so this could be a very good signing. Just as you've said, mate, I've just read it as well. I haven't seen much of this guy playing. As Connor said earlier on, he doesn't know whether he's a great player or a long shot merchant. Now, he did break the record last year in the Portuguese top flight for a goal scoring midfielder. He scored, where's it gone? He scored 20 times in 33 games and had 13 assists, so that's a pretty good return, to be fair. But it was Portugal, so you've got to take that with a massive pinch of salt. I don't know, mate. It's a reasonable amount. If the figures are adding up at 45 million euro, then yeah, that's a reasonable amount. Any news on a reserve keeper? Yes. Remind me in about 10 minutes, mate. I'll get back to that one. But there is 2 little bits and pieces on that. Fernandes has had 1 good season. Not sure about him, said Aiden. If the Ligt goes to PSG, he'll be getting 20 million every year. By the age of 24, he'll have made 80 million. Yeah, exactly. And it's only going to go up and up. And think about it, mate. A centre-back's peak is about 26, 27, 28. So he's what? Probably 6, 7 years off his peak already. And he's still going to be commanding ridiculous money. I think the medical for Pepe has been today because it's gone quiet. I don't think we're signing Nicolas Pepe, mate. I really don't. Not for the money being questioned or being asked for by Lille. Anything I've read from people that watch French football say there's some potential there. But he isn't ready yet to be dropped right in at Liverpool, and particularly not at the value that Lille are looking for him, 65, 70 million quid. Again though, for me, I haven't watched anything of Lille this season, nothing at all. Timo Werner or Porto, or the Porto striker Marega, I think is the guy you're thinking of, Yemi. And we were linked with Marega, as were, do you know what, I can't remember who the other club was, but I think, was it Valencia? We were linked with Marega, yeah. We were linked with Marega. Gakul said, it's been a while, but 514 people watching. Yeah, mate, I don't know what's after going on, but the channel's flying lately, and I'm extremely grateful for that. We got 10,000 views of our last stream, which is great. I mean, our record, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, is ridiculous for us. It's 160,000 people for the Barcelona watch-along. And of course, that 4-0 game, if anything was going to break records, it was going to be that, wasn't it? But we'll probably never do that again. But it is a nice little record to have, I have to say. To all the people that are coming in and watching, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for giving us a try. If you are enjoying it and you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that button. Don't forget, by subscribing, you automatically get entered into all the little competitions we'll be running as well. Giving away that scarf on Wednesday, and we gave away, I think, 12 shirts, 15 shirts, something like that over the course of the season. So we do always try to give back a few little bits and pieces, because you guys, without you guys, the channel wouldn't exist. Pepe looks so good, said Michael Lyons. I'm trying my best to get through the comments, guys. Apologies if I miss some, because the chat's moving quicker these days. Even since I've said that, we've gone up another 25 viewers, which is amazing. Get Karius as reserve. Actually, on Karius, I did read something on Loris Karius today. So he's not coming back near Liverpool, by the way. I should make that really clear from what I've read. We do know that Roma have brought in they've got rid of DiFrancesco, and they've brought in a new coach there. And apparently he was interested in signing Loris Karius. But I did read something on Karius. Where the hell is it gone? Oh, yes, here it is. So Karius was speaking about remaining at Besiktas next season, and speaking about the issue, he said, I have a debt to pay to the Besiktas fans. I don't want to leave, and I'm not considering my options. I want to stay at this great club. I'll work hard to become better, and I want to win the title with my club next season. Do you know what? That's a lovely statement for Loris Karius to come out with. And interestingly, I'll read you out the last sentence again. I'll work hard to become better, and I want to win the title with my club next season. So it does seem like Loris Karius wants to be at Besiktas. And you know what? Fair fucks to him, because I'm happy for him. I want to see him get settled and progress with his career. And if he stays there this season, then that clause will be triggered. And I think, if I remember correctly, the fee is around 12 million that Liverpool will have to be paid for him, which is an increase on the 4.5 million we bought him for. Connor Murray said, Craig, do you believe he'd be a good signing because he could create a lot of chances for a front three as well as take a lot? I personally believe it would. as it could help our attack heavily. I'm not sure who this is, mate. Sorry, Connor, if I probably missed the first part of your comment, mate. I don't know who you were talking about. Sorry, buddy. If it's... Let me guess, who might you be talking about? Yeah, sorry, Connor, I don't know who you're talking about, and I don't want to give you an answer and it'd be the wrong player. Karius is a good keeper, just a bad game under pressure. Well, it's not just a bad game under pressure, mate. Whether we believe ourselves that the concussion had anything to do with his performance or not, what is clear is he got an almighty clatter in the head from that little scumbag Ramos. An absolute schneidi elbow to the head. So we can't forget about that. That did happen. Yeah, that did happen. Whether I don't want to use that as an excuse. We lost 3-1 to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? No excuses on my end on that one. Karius deserves a bit of good fortune after all the hate he got, said Willow. Yeah, do you remember, like, he came over to apologise to the Liverpool fans. I can only imagine what must have been going through that young man's head at that moment in time. Any news on Asensio and Isco? I'd seen really, really vague rumours linking us, mate, to an £85 million bid for Asensio, but it's not going to happen. And Isco, I don't know, I haven't read anything on Isco personally, but the stuff on Asensio, I think it's just pie in the sky nonsense. That we had similar rumours last year as well around him. I want Lallana to get a league title at Liverpool, said Brian Morrissey. I want Lallana to be sold this summer, mate, if I'm being bluntly honest about it. I've nothing against Adam Lallana, far from it. I think he's a really nice fella from what I can gather. I just think we've gone past him at this moment in time. With the injuries adding up, the fact that he's either turning 30 or he's just turned 30, I would move him on because you'd still get a few quid from him. Craig, what game did you have the boobs out? It was the Barca game, mate, and I believe it was the third goal. I think it was Gini Wijnaldum's header, I think, that got the old man boobs out. I think James Maddison would be great under Jurgen Klopp, said Kane. Maddison was speaking today about the apparent £60 million price tag, and he was saying that he doesn't pay much heed to stuff like this because even when he'd only played, I think he said 14 games or something like that, he'd been linked to clubs like Liverpool and he just wants to go about his business. He was speaking, of course, of being part of the under-21s squad for the European Cup. So yeah, he seems like a good lad, actually, James Maddison. He seems to have his head screwed on, and the 22 million that Leicester paid for Norwich seems like very good business already one season in. It was Fernandes. Honestly, Conor Murray, I haven't seen anything of Fernandes, mate, other than the few bits and pieces of Portugal. There's two players this window who I've seen barely nothing of, and that's Bruno Fernandes and Pepe. I can give you stuff on Neres, I can give you stuff on Ousmane Dembele and players like that, but I haven't watched Lille and I've seen very little Sporting Lisbon. I fear that we're on the way up so much we could fall again, said Oshin. Don't fear that, buddy. We're in a good place right now. I understand where you're coming from, don't get me wrong. We've had false dawns as Liverpool fans before, but just look at the squad that we have now. I still can't believe what a turnaround Jurgen Klopp has done with the squad. Just player for player, what was here when he came in to what he's after doing now and the amount he's after only spending to do it. It's crazy, and his transfer success rate is ridiculous as well. So for me, I think it's just the start, Oisin. I think it's the start of a very good, successful period for Liverpool. We have a possible 7 trophies to play for over the next 12 months, starting with the Charity Shield or the Community Shield, the European Super Cup, the World Club Cup, obviously the 2 domestic cups, the Premier League and the Champions League. So hopefully, it'd be nice to stick 2 trophies in the cabinet minimum this season. Ramos and Karius did us a favour that night. Without all that happening, we'd have probably wouldn't have gotten Alisson. I don't know. Maybe that's something we could never say, mate. But we are better off with Alisson, I think, Cara. That's not even up for debate. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. It's been an unbelievable piece of business bringing Alisson Becker to the club. Right, some more transfer news. Let it keep coming. So I see a few of you guys are talking about Southampton. Well, we've been linked to 2 players, another 2 players from Southampton over the past 24 hours, and you think they'd be sick of the fucking side of us, wouldn't you, at this moment in time? So the Mirror are reporting that Liverpool are interested in signing Southampton's 29-year-old goalkeeper Alex McCarthy as a replacement for Simon Mignolet. The keeper made 25 appearances last year for Southampton. Again, this makes sense. Neil Etheridge makes sense. Adrian makes sense. Reina, to an extent, makes sense. I don't. To me, it's much of a muchness which one we go for because they're all decent. Adrian's on a free, so I'd probably have gone that route personally. But yeah, they're all just going to be back up to Alisson Becker, and I know it's quite unusual for keepers to be injured for a prolonged period, so I'm not bothered. Does anybody have any preferences on the backup goalkeeper situation if Mignolet moves on? Etheridge, I've seen the figures mentioned of around 10 million. I actually didn't see a figure for Alex McCarthy today, but he's a name that we've been linked to a while back as well. Pepe Reina, obviously, I think he's still under contract at AC Milan, if my memory is correct. And Adrian, as I said, is leaving or has already left West Ham on a free contract. And then I said there was two. Actually, there's another one from Southampton, and I see a couple of you guys in the chat have mentioned it already. Liverpool have inquired about Southampton's 23-year-old left back Matt Targett to replace Alberto Moreno, according to Team Talk. Now, Team Talk, massive pinch of salt there. He's only started 13 games last year for Southampton and Arsenal, and Arsenal are rumoured to be looking at him as well. Now, I actually do know a little bit about Targett because I remember reading an article on him a while back in that he was very, very, very highly thought of at left back, and he was actually supposed to have gotten his chance a couple of seasons back, actually probably 3 seasons back, but he had a really bad injury that kept him out, I think, for an entire season, and that set back his development, which allowed other players to go and progress ahead of him and push them back down the pecking order a little bit. He was very, very highly thought of coming through the youth system, and I have always said that I haven't seen many links to a left back, but you know what? This is a great piece of business if Liverpool go. I know it doesn't sound sexy. I know it doesn't sound a familiar name to many people, like maybe Tierney. Is it Tierney? Yeah, Tierney from Celtic would be, or other players. But he's a good fullback. He's a very good player, and I don't know the fee, but if Liverpool were to get this guy as a backup for Robertson, for me, I think it would be a really good piece of business. But it would potentially stand in the way of Adam Lewis coming up from the 23s. Now, that's a call Jurgen Klopp is going to have to make. But what do you guys think on Alex McCarthy and, of course, on Targett? And will Southampton even pick up the fucking phone to Liverpool at this moment in time? You know, the way it's been with our clubs over the past few years. We've gone into Southampton a little bit, haven't we? Although we did send them, and they do owe us money, which is important to, I suppose, to remember here. They do owe us 20 million quid this summer for what's his name? Danny Ings. Mind went blank there for a second. So that has to be paid up this summer. Craig, Liverpool lost Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle. Well, Manchester City, I don't know what you're trying to say there, Moodus here, mate. Sorry, I can't make head nor tails of it. Apologies, sorry, it could be my bad, I just couldn't figure it out. We've a new transfer at Target. I'll show myself out, said Connor. Please do, mate. Taxi for Mr. Crosby. Banter said, it's not the end of the world if Salah goes next season. We'll probably get 120 to 150 million next season. So what will it be? 28 next season. So will Mane, to be fair. I think they're both the same age, aren't they? Mane has spoken that basically confirmed that he will be staying at Liverpool this summer. He was talking about what he wants to do next year and how his numbers were good this year and he wants to improve. Of the front three, hand on heart, I would say Salah is probably the more likely to leave of any of them. But in saying that, I'm very, very certain that none of them will be leaving this summer. From what I can read, now of course anything can change in football overnight, but I don't buy into this shit about Mo falling out with Klopp. I don't buy into this stuff about Mo and Sadio not getting on. Forwards are inherently selfish. It's their job to score goals and to set up goals. So people say sometimes they don't square to each other or they take on a shot. I don't see too much wrong with that, to be fair. There's obviously going to be an occasion or two where if it doesn't come off, we're going to all go greedy bastards to the past. It's going to happen. But yeah, for me, they won't move this summer, and then whatever happens next summer, we'll deal with next summer. There's no point in worrying about this stuff now. Do I think Liverpool will ever pay big wages like the other big clubs? It's a question, Paul, I've been asking myself more and more recently. When I hear that, like, Rashford's looking for 300 grand a week at 21 years of age to stay at Manchester United. When we hear stories of Alexis Sanchez on 450 grand a week, and Mesut Ozil on 300 or 350 grand a week at Arsenal. And then we look at our top earners, who I believe are in and around £220,000. Of course, a lot of this is guesswork because we really don't know the ins and outs of players' contracts. But It's rumoured that our front three are all on somewhere between 180 and 220 grand a week. Now, to mere mortals like me and you, that is a life-changing amount of money to get every week. But when you see figures of 500,000, 600,000 maybe for Messi or Ronaldo being thrown around, it's easy to see how players who might be a little bit money oriented can have their head turned. And is it right or wrong for that to happen? I don't know. Players have a short career. Some people will look at it that they want to look back and they want to win trophies and they want to have memories. And look, they're going to be multi-millionaires no matter what happens. But you know, the difference between maybe being a multi-millionaire and setting your family and your extended family up for the next 2 or 3 generations, is it wrong of us to call somebody greedy for that? You know, I don't know. I couldn't possibly comprehend at times the levels of poverty that some of these guys came from. Maybe particularly some of the Africans or South Americans. I've heard stories of Suarez, for instance, that he couldn't afford boots at the time. And that's not a poverty personally that I've ever had. I come from a working class family, like probably most people watching this, and I've never had to worry about not having a pair of boots or the lights being on in the house or having heating or, you know, food. So, you know, if I've never suffered this poverty like these players might have, how could I possibly know the fear that drives them and never wanting their families to have to go back to that poverty? Sometimes as football fans we need to remember these things as well. Some players support villages, towns, massive extended families, have huge entourages. It's different strokes for different folks, I'm afraid, and it's too easy for us to judge at times, and I'm guilty of that. I'm absolutely guilty of judging at times about players and how much they're earning and being greedy. Mercenaries, I think, is a phrase I've used. Brian Morrissey said we will have to start paying bigger wages or we won't stay at the top if Klopp leaves. Dirk Kuyt or Sadio Mane? Sadio Mane, Tom. As much as I love Dirk Kuyt, and he worked his ass off and he was unbelievable, there's something a little bit special about Sadio, I think, which would differentiate the two. But I do love Dirk Kuyt. People need to stop overrating Rashford. I know, Owen, it makes me laugh, mate. When I see stories that said United are being railroaded into having to pay Marcus Rashford £300,000 a week to keep off the attentions of Barcelona and Real Madrid, I'm going, really? Really? You think Barcelona are going to be knocking the door down to sign Marcus Rashford and give him 300 grand a week? I don't know. I would call bullshit on that if I'm being honest. Aziz said getting 300 grand a year would be obscene. Yes, I get you, mate. That would be a life-changing amount, wouldn't it? 300 grand a year for any of us would be well, I don't know, maybe we've got some very fortunate people in here or some very hard-working people that already earn that, but for me, mate, I'm in the probably 10% bracket of that 300 grand, around the 30-35 grand mark maybe. Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? How much money do players need? Again, Tom, it depends on their circumstances, where they come from, how many people they're supporting. There's so much that goes into these things that we can be a little bit black and white on it at times, or we can be a little bit club-centric or a little bit naive. Lindsay said, I subscribe to you. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I really appreciate that. I hope you're enjoying the show, by the way. And again, if you're like Lindsay and you are enjoying it, please do hit that button, ladies and gents. We're only 32 away from 17,200. Jesus, it only feels like it was 17k yesterday or something. I mean, that 200-ish is going to have flown up. It's brilliant. I love it. Joseph said, 100% agree on the money. 180 grand is insane, but 500 is even more insane. You can't blame them. Yeah, it is a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of money. And you think an injury could ruin a player's career in a heartbeat. So, yeah, I mean, who are we to say if they're being greedy or not? Now, there are some scenarios. I would call Neymar a greedy bastard, if I'm being honest. I mean, a really greedy bastard. Beyond a joke, almost, to an extent. Cape Town Muslim said, wages are one thing, but Liverpool at the moment's profile is so much bigger. You've got to be worth more in endorsements, etc. Yes, that's a good point as well. Yeah, it is a good point. And players are brands these days, aren't they? Have you seen the interview rumour for Mbappé for Liverpool? Yes, and it's a really good Photoshop, Daniel. It's definitely a Photoshop, but it's a really good one. It's one of the better Photoshops I've seen. Just look what Salah does for his town with his money, said Kieran. If Rashford is worth 350k, then I must be worth 50k, said Adam Phillip.
My dad makes 230 a year. Fair folks. I mean, I'm sure he earns it and he deserves it, mate. I don't hate. I wish everybody the best. I hope we all fucking become multi-millionaires. Anfield Agenda is the best news channel, said Lindsay Brown. Thank you very much. You're a legend. Wow. Thank you, Football Plus. Really kind of you, mate. Right back at you. You're a legend. How much does Sanchez get paid from United? Oh, I love saying this. I believe it's about 450 grand a week to sit around making DVDs and do nothing, which is it's nuts. Dembele would suit our playstyle superbly, said on Wharton. Yeah, can we go back to Dembele for a minute? Because I know there's more people have joined since the last time, and I want to get your thoughts on Dembele. Do you guys think Dembele is value at 90 million if he was to come to Liverpool? Would you like to see a sign, or do you think, nah, not that, there's better players out there? The only reason I'm coming back to this Dembele thing is because there's history with Kloppo. I think Dembele rented Klopp's house off him as well, if my memory's correct, in Dortmund, and I think Klopp's a little bit fond of the guy. It'll be interesting to see, but I want your thoughts on it. I mean, I've spoken a lot tonight. I want to get through as many of your comments as I can. Can we sign a spare Jurgen and freeze him until this one leaves, said Simon. I mean, it's a good plan, mate. I'm all for it. Maybe we can just harvest a little bit of him from skin cells or something. Craig, this is a bit random, but do you remember when we beat City 3-2 in the 13-14 season? Oh my god, yes, mate. Yeah, I was watching that game here with friends and some relatives actually, and when it got back to 2-2, I was so pissed off. And then was it Company slipped? Am I right here? Company slipped, and then Coutinho banged one in to make it 3-2. I mean, I know Coutinho scored, but I think Company slipped, if my memory serves. And I'm not gonna lie, mate, I was fully sure we'd won the league when that happened. I was fully sure we were gonna go on and win the league. But yeah, I definitely remember that. Brian Morris, he said, the market decides what a player is worth, not agents or the players themselves. Blame the consumers, not the beneficiaries. You're watching on your TV and phone, Lindsay. Class. Nice one. Apologies for having to look at me on a TV screen, by the way. I can only imagine how frightening that must be. Did you see any truth to the Fernandes link? I sent you an email. Sorry it was early, but couldn't say. Might have missed you talk about it. We did speak about it, and thank you, Labs Gamer, for the email, mate. I hope I got back to you. My memory believes I did get back to you with something, but thank you so much, mate. I do appreciate when people send us on these little bits and pieces. Yeah, we touched on it, mate. 45 million apparently was the bid Liverpool put in. That's coming from Portugal. I've yet to see a yay or a nay on that one. I've yet to see any English-based journalists really say it was true or not. I'd have my doubts on it, but again, let's just wait and see. But thank you again, Labs Gamer, for that. Dembele's trouble, bad attitude. Gary, you know I've got a can of Diet Coke, mate. You know I do. You know I've just thrown it all over myself as well, mate, because I can't drink. Apparently drinking a can of Diet Coke is too much like hard work for me. Dembele's trouble, bad attitude, said David. Gary Jenkinson said, when you're getting 200 million a year for 5 years with a new kit deal, you can afford to pay 2-3 players like Mbappé. Well, we're not going to get 200 million a year, Gary, for a kit deal. That's just absolutely not going to happen in a million years, mate. There's a potential 10-year deal worth maybe 1.2 on the offering, maybe from Nike, if rumours are to be believed, but there's no way we're getting 200 million a year for 5 years, mate. That's just simply not going to happen. With regard to being able to pay for players like Mbappe and Messi and stuff, well, Messi, look, he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to finish up, maybe go back to Argentina. I think we could afford an Mbappe, if the truth be known. And we spoke yesterday about, if, let's be really hypothetical here, we went and signed a deal with Nike, we signed a kit deal with Nike, would be in their interest maybe to make a partnership, maybe smooth the way a little bit for an Mbappe to come in and improve Liverpool's brand, which would improve their own brand. And yeah, there is sense to be made of those conversations, and I suppose it will get to a point where we ask ourselves if we really are at the top table of world football. And I know we have this whole thing about Liverpool don't buy stars, they make stars. Well, yeah, but if you're a real big hitter right at the top table, you got to be buying the big boys as well at times, even if it's just to flex your muscles and to show that you can do it. And to stop players wanting to leave because you then become the destination club. I understand the thought process behind it, Gary. And Mbappe would make sense to me, but you're talking about a crazy amount of money, aren't you? Glenn said, geez, on 17k. Thank you. Or was that congrats? Either way, thank you, Glenn. His attitude isn't discussed, and the Spanish media has an agenda against him. He does have attitude issues. Is it Andrea? Now look, I don't know. I don't know him inside or out, but I have heard a couple of journalists speaking about it. Journalists that genuinely would have wanted him to have settled down at Barcelona. And then, of course, there was a few things around Dortmund as well. But look, sometimes it's just the right club, the right manager. And if anybody can settle a player down, Jurgen Klopp would do it. Douglas said, 90 million for Dembele, too much for me, he's not worth that. Pranav said, Craig, Salah and Mane, how will they assist each other when they're both fighting for the golden boot? It just wouldn't be allowed, mate. It's as simple as that. It's Jurgen Klopp wouldn't put up with diva attitude. If Sadio Mane, like this year, they ended up level, and you know, probably deserved. Of course, Aubameyang as well, but yeah, probably deserved, and it just wouldn't be put up with. I mean, if it's getting to a point where they're taking the piss and they're just not passing, then there would be an issue. But I've not seen it get to that point yet. What else we got? iPhone 7 or 8. Someone said I'm on an iPhone XR. Is that what they're called? XR? Yeah, I think it's the XR. We don't sign the elite players. Said it before, saying it again. Elijah John 5 said we don't sign the elite players. I've just done that. Werner would be a big name signing. He'd be ish, mate. He wouldn't be like earth shattering. He'd be a good 23-year-old player with a lot of potential, established international. Patrick Flanagan said pictures of the third kit on Twitter. I haven't seen it, mate. Well, I know it's black and teal. I know that much. I haven't seen the exact kit. I've seen the training shirt and I've seen the tracksuit top, but I've yet to see the exact third kit, unless it's on footy headlines, which I might just check while I have you guys on here, because I do like to try and keep up to date on the kits. So let me just give me 2 seconds and I'll see if I can get it, if it is up. Not seen on footy headlines, which means, yeah, no, unless I see it on here, I just don't believe it, to be fair. If we sign Mbappé, I'll lose all control of my actions, said Gary Richards. Yeah, it would be mental, mate, if I'm being honest. I've got so many more notes, guys, to get through. So much more to do. Oh, Ajari. Yes, you've probably seen this today, but Ovi Ajari is going to Reading by the looks of it. We know the loan move to Rangers didn't work out for him last year, so we spent the second half of the season at Reading. I think he made 16 appearances for them, and it looks like he's going to go back there on loan. And then it is Ojo is going up to Rangers as well, by the looks of that. I think there was a medical happening for that one, so he's going to go up there on loan as well. Somewhat, like, I mean, we think there's nothing happening, but there are little bits and pieces starting to happen. Mbappé would have had a hard time trying to keep up with the pace in the Premier League, said Alexander. I don't think he would, mate, to be fair. I think maybe the amount of games he'd have to play could have been an issue, mate. Maybe that's where you're coming from. All the Liverpool players got a gold-plated iPhone X for winning the Champions League. They got it before the Champions League, Douglas, so they were getting it whether they won it or not. And they were an 24-carat gold-plated iPhone X or XS cases, I think. They're $3,500 each or something in Harvey Nichols, those cases, which is ridiculous. But, I mean, are they going to say no? Saw the third kit, it's pretty good, said EJ. I haven't seen it. Maybe someone can tag me in it on Twitter at Anfield Agenda if you get a chance. Craig, do you shave your head every day? It always looks smooth. Yes, 2 days at a 2 days at a push, but Andrew, yeah, pretty much every day, mate. And I nearly try and time it so I do about an hour before I come on the stream as well. Any Lallana news? Nope, not for me anyway, Douglas, mate, nothing. How's it going, Craig? Get holidays in a few days. Love the stream. Thank you very much. I'm Kelly. Love having you on, mate, and everybody else. Michael Edwards is the Messiah, so maybe something is coming, said Wizzy Rabbit. I think there is something coming, mate. I really do. I don't have any inside info. Like, I'm not trying to claim I do, but I just have a feeling that we're going to see a transfer soon. Some good news as well on the podcast front. I know you guys enjoyed the recent podcast that we did with myself, Cash, Dave and Chris. Well, the good news is we're going to record another podcast on Wednesday. This time, another blast from the past is going to come back to join us. So there's going to be myself, there's going to be Cash, there's going to be Dave, And Tom, I don't know if you guys remember Tom, but Tom is going to come back and join us for the podcast. So, yeah, really looking forward. It's quite a while since I caught up with Tom, so I'm looking forward to getting him back on. We're probably just going to do it on YouTube, so we mightn't bother our arse putting it out as an MP3, to be honest, because it kind of seems counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. So we'll probably do it as the same way we did the last one on here. So you'll get the audio of it in my video and just an image of the guys. But yeah, we're recording that on Wednesday. We've also got one more segment to come on the stuff that I did with myself, Brian and Connor. I think there's a 15-minute segment on potential kit deals. So that'll come out at some point soon. Do I go on the sunbeds? No, Tony, no, mate. Nah, I love the sun though. Jesus, I love it, mate. I'm a sun worshipper and I can't wait to go on holidays in 5 weeks. Don't worry, I know I've said this before. I'm going away in July for a week, but I will make sure the content, so you're not going to be left high and dry. I'll have done some pre-recorded content, so I'll make sure you guys have content while I'm away. Killian said, tagged you on Twitter. Thank you very much, mate. I can't believe this. We're getting close to nearly 600 people on the stream, which I think for a night stream might be a record if we get to 600. It's crazy. So to everyone that's watching, we're 23 away from our next target of 70,200. So if you're watching, you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. Neymar couldn't handle the physicality of the Premier League. Klopp's, he says he spends too much time on the ground. I've got to be frank, Gary, here, mate. I despise Neymar. For me, Neymar is everything that's wrong with modern day football, encapsulated into one pampered little diva. He has undoubted talent, of course he does, but he doesn't have the work ethic of a Cristiano Ronaldo, of a Lionel Messi. If he had that, he'd be a much better player. V for Vengetta now said, stick with New Balance, love their kits. I'm with you, mate. I think New Balance have done a cracking job making the Liverpool kits. I've got a couple of the pairs of the trainers as well that they made, and I love all of it. Any news on the away kit being delivered? I ordered mine Saturday, 9 days ago. I ordered mine last week, mate, for the young lad, and I got it. It came after like 5 days or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know, mate. Mine came quick enough for Lucas. When Fabinho was bought, was there any rumours of him being signed? No, nothing, Mossy. Absolutely nothing. And I mean literally nothing until that guy broke the story, and it happened then really quickly. And nobody had a clue on it, which made it brilliant, because United fans were pretty sure that they were going in for Fabinho, and then all of a sudden, oh, there he is on a jet coming in to sign for Liverpool, and Fred was next, the almighty saviour then for United, and that's not working out too well, is it? I love going on sometimes onto YouTube and just rehashing up the old Welcome to Manchester United Fabinho videos, because it was fucking hilarious looking at them. I'm probably going to the Community Shield because I was going on holidays during the game. Half my hotel fell down. Wow. Well, firstly, I hope wherever that hotel was that nobody was injured, Sam. And if you get to the Community Shield, mate, I hope you have a great time. Thank you, Sam. Sam Conroy sub. Thank you very much, Sam. Really appreciate that, buddy. Hope you continue to enjoy the streams. And for those of you that are watching for the first time and are wondering about the channel, firstly, all our content is free on here, and it's always going to be free because, quite frankly, we believe what we do should be free because we're just a bunch of fans. We're nothing special. I don't think we'd ever charge for content. Secondly, we do nightly streams. I like to say every night, but once in a blue moon we'll take a night off. But mostly it's every night at about 9:30. Then we'll do transfer videos, podcasts, some shorter 15-minute segments as well on various topics that we like to have a chat about, and we've got some more ideas to come as well for topics that we're going to talk about. But as always, if you have any ideas of subjects you would like us to talk about, our door is always open. We'd love to hear from you. You can send us an email, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com, AnfieldAgenda@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter @AnfieldAgenda, or you can try it in here as well. Did I miss somebody? Oh, I did. Sorry, James, I missed your super chat, mate. Thank you. You didn't put a comment in though, so if there is anything you wanted to say, buddy, please do feel free. Oh, there it is. I didn't miss it. I hadn't just got to it yet. Thank you very much, James, for the super chat. Just finished work. What's going on with Dembele? Can I get excited? I don't know, guys. What do you think? Can you get excited? Is there anything to this Dembele stuff? 90 million? Some people think it's too much. Oh, do you know what, Big Virgil? I think 90 million is not too bad for a player that young with that much potential. But there is the whole thing about the attitude. But if anybody can fix that, it would be Klopp. Claire said, prefer the one I saw, to be fair, all black with the teal logo. Let me just check this one on Twitter because I'm really intrigued now. Let me just check. Someone said they tagged me in it. Oh Jesus, that's horrendous. That's horrendous. I don't like that one bit. Let me see if I can turn that around to the camera. Can you guys see that? I would hope that the pattern on it isn't as pronounced as in that shirt. But yeah, no, I'm not buying that. If that's the away kit, yeah, no, there's not a fucking hope I'm buying that, if I'm being honest, if that is the away kit. Standard Chartered is white. The New Balance and the Liverpool crest is teal. Yeah, no, for me, I'll be sticking to just the home kit if that's the shirt. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I'm going, what's this? I'd be going for Felix 100%. Said, is it Crickety or Cricket 7? Yeah, it looks like Manchester City, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it looks like Manchester City might potentially be willing to buy João Felix for 105 million and loan him back to Benfica. That's a report that I'd seen come out in the past couple of days now. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but we do know Benfica had mentioned that before. Looks cack, said Gonad. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look great. I hope it's fake. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I don't like those collars either. What is up with the collars? This collar, grand, normal round neck collar, V-neck collar, sound, but the white one and that one, I don't like those collars at all. Looks like a goalie design, said Alan Phillips. Is it possible to get your opinion on Son to LFC? Of course, Senior El Flamo. I'd love him. I would love him. He would be one of the players that would be at the very, very, very top of my list if Liverpool were to go and sign somebody, because Son, everything about him would fit our system. His work rate, his attitude, everything, is pressing. Klopp would get so much out of him. His fitness levels are crazy as well. So yeah, for me, he'd be an unbelievable piece of business. I don't know off the top of my head what his contract situation is with Spurs. I know Christian Eriksen's in his going into his last year. He turned down the offer of any interest in Manchester United. There's been some stuff from Real Madrid, but I don't know if that will have cooled after signing Hazard. I had seen some links of Liverpool to Christian Eriksen, and I've got to be honest, I wouldn't mind it one bit. Kent to Rangers on a free. No, that's not going to happen. If we sell Ryan Kent, it's going to be for about 12 million quid. 8 to 12 million probably, but Rangers wanted him on a loan, Reece. Gary McAllister and Stephen Gerrard came out and spoke about how much they'd like to take him back there. But Liverpool, I think, want to cash in on him, and I think for him, he just wants to put down roots and finally start to settle down his career. There have been links of him to Aston Villa, Middlesbrough, Rangers, and there was one more club, Leeds. Leeds wanted him on loan, I think, but I think Villa were willing to buy him. Adam said Maguire's not worth 80 million and we bought Van Dijk for less. Yeah, we did. And Van Dijk's a better player than Harry Maguire, a much better player. Maguire's a good defender, but he's no fucking Virgil van Dijk. Felix is going to Atletico Madrid. Is he really, Brian? Atletico Madrid, I suppose they could whack down that they could use the Griezmann money, couldn't they? To buy João Felix. That would be interesting if they used the 105 million they were getting for Antoine Griezmann and spent the exact same amount to get João Felix. That would make some sense. Would I take Sané? 100%. Yeah, 100%. I don't understand what's going on with Leroy Sané in Manchester City and what the issue is. He's 2 years left on his contract. Bayern Munich have said they'd love to sign him. 80 million seems to be a rough figure. Now, there's no way on earth Manchester City would sell to us, so we can forget this conversation. It's a non-starter, but would I take him? Absolutely. Son signed a new deal, said Simon. Well, there you go. Then he's going to stay at Spurs because Daniel Levy's not going to want to let him go unless crazy money was thrown down. Anyone still want New Balance to make our kits? Yes. Me, Michael. The away kit isn't the worst of them. It's just not my choice. And we don't know for certain yet, mate, if that is the real kit. As I said, it's not on Footy Headlines yet. And for me, Footy Headlines have never got it wrong when I've seen a kit go up on there. So, yeah, I love them, to be fair. Them or Adidas. I don't want Nike anywhere near Liverpool. More links to Lucas Moura, said Willow. I'm going to call you Wendy there, which is your name, of course, but Willow. We'll go with Willow. Lucas Moura, again, why would Spurs sell after getting him in? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Niall said they've agreed a fee for £107 million. Is this for Atleti mate to sign João Felix? Well done, Atleti. I'd rather Atleti get him than Manchester City. The very notion that Maguire is in the same league as Van Dijk is insane, said Brian Morrissey. I love it. Keep it coming. Guys, we have about half an hour left on tonight's stream, so there's still loads of time to get any questions or any conversation topics you want to get in. Bring Nike in after giving the most money, don't care, but the 750 deal will be class. Yeah, look, I get where you're coming from, Niall, and at the end of the day, it will come down to what's best for the club financially, and that's right, the owners should be doing that, yeah. I don't know, it's just, for me, mate, I can't explain it. Do you guys have a phone company, for instance, a mobile phone provider that you just don't like? So for me, I've never been a massive fan, in Ireland here, of Vodafone. And not because of anything against the company, I just never liked the pricing points that Vodafone had for their packages. So I've always been staying away from Vodafone. And Nike has always kind of been a similar thing for me in Liverpool. I've just never seen it as a good fit. But again, as Niall said, it might just come down to wage and whoever gives the most money to the club. Skipper Dog said, I like the New Balance gear. City don't play Sané because Sterling plays on the left. Mahrez could start on the right next season and Bernardo Silva in the middle. Yeah, but even at that, mate, even with rotation, we'd seen what an impact Leroy Sané can have coming onto the pitch. And I don't know, for me, he just looks absolutely quality. And look, Raheem Sterling is brilliant and he's playing some amazing football. Bernardo Silva, to me, was Manchester City's best player last season. He was simply outstanding. And yeah, there's a competition there for Sané, but I don't understand why Manchester City would even entertain any conversation around him leaving unless there's something going on behind the scenes. Maybe he doesn't get on with Guardiola. Maybe Guardiola just doesn't like his attitude. I don't know. And, you know, I don't know enough about Manchester City to really know the ins and outs there. Everton have become favourites to sign Neres. Well, Jeff, unless they have the old 80 million quid, that's been rumoured to be the amount that they're asking for, according to... as I said, Ajax will demand more than £80 million for David Neres this summer, according to The Telegraph in Holland, and their journalist Marcel van der Kraan came out with that story. So I don't think Everton are going to be spending 80 million quid on David Neres. So unless the figure is complete bullshit and he's available for a lot less. Craig, cheese and onion or chicken mayo? I don't eat mayonnaise, mate, so cheese and onion, but I also don't eat butter, so I'm really boring, Gary. Craig, would you take... I knew you'd get me on this eventually. Oh, you know I hate saying this name. Would you take Uar from Lyon? Yes, he's a good midfielder. Linked to a lot of clubs around Europe. Again, Lyon are in a position though where a lot of their players have been linked with moves away. Fekir, they've said he can go, so that's going to happen. Spurs are in quite serious talks for Ndombele. So then you've got Uar, then you've got Depay. They've sold Mendy as well to Real Madrid, so they're not going to want to strip themselves down completely. Again, like a similar situation to Ajax, they're going to want to keep some of that squad together. They've Champions League football to play next season as well. Do I see a signing happening? Yes, Mark. Of course, mate. We'll probably do 2 or 3 signings, and I don't get the fume of some people on social media who are losing their minds that Liverpool haven't signed the player yet. We just won. Let's keep this in mind. Our season went 3 weeks later than most Premier League clubs. Ourselves and Spurs, obviously. And then, fair enough, Chelsea and Arsenal did have the Europa League final as well. But most Premier League clubs, the other 16 clubs, pretty much finished 3 weeks before us. So they're ahead of us. Their players have had their holidays and stuff and come back maybe and gone on some international duties. That hasn't happened for our players. They're only getting their break now. Some of the staff are only getting their break now. So I wouldn't be worried about it from a transfer perspective. They'll have worked on it. They'll have stuff in the pipeline, and I think we'll see transfers coming quite soon. How am I? I'm very good, Flexible Temp. How are you? And thank you for asking. Cheese and onion all the way. It's an Irish delicacy, don't you know? And don't give me any of this, you English guys. You know I love you, but you wouldn't know a good bag of cheese and onion in England if it hit you in the head. Every time I go over to the UK, and I love going to the UK, it's the one thing I hate. You can't get a decent bag of cheese and onion crisps. And don't give me any of your Walkers nonsense. They're horrible. What else we got? I think Fekir is a done deal, said Mossy Kyo. Yeah, the Fekir thing has gone nuts over the past. I mean, I talked about the plane that was tracked apparently from Lyon to Blackpool, and then there was another plane from Blackpool to Liverpool. We know that Fekir is definitely able to leave Lyon this summer. Jean-Michel Aulas came out and said that there was an agreement in place with Nabil Fekir that he can leave. I don't know what the figure is. You've seen things from 15 million up to 50 million. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I've also heard some journalists say that we're not going back in for him, and that when we pulled out last year, that was the end of it. But then again, I've heard other stories that says, well, it was to do with his brother or his agent, or it was to do with not being able to agree a fee and knowing that we could potentially get him cheaper this year. Again, things are quiet at our end, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'd love him. I mean, particularly at anything under 30 million quid, I think he'd be a bargain. Gmail, that's not really a question we're going to answer, mate, about the Paisley, Fergie or Pep thing. I mean, Pep shouldn't even be fucking anywhere near that conversation for a start. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it depends what club you follow, doesn't it, mate? I suppose, which we're going to all be biased on here and say Paisley. United fans will say Ferguson, and Manchester City have no fucking choice but to say Pep if they want to stay loyal, because they've had no history really before Pep came. What are we on likes on the stream, ladies and gents? If you can do me a favour and hit that thumbs up as well. We're only 18 subs away, so if there's 18 beautiful people watching that haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Leaked Instagram of the third kit. Yeah, I'd seen it, mate. It's not great. If that's the one that's doing the rounds, it's not great at all, is it? Now we've known that black and teal for a few weeks are going to be the colour combination, but personally, I don't like that third kit one bit, if that is it. Pringles are better than Walkers. I miss Golden Wonder, said Gary Richards. Stop talking about Fekir. It haunts my dreams, said EJ. Mate, I'm not too far behind you. As I said to you guys the other day, if that happens, I'm getting the fucking Fekir shirt immediately. I'll buy another home one. I don't care. I'd be all over that. What do you think about the Mbappé talks? There are no talks, Tommy. It's kind of funny, really. What happened was he's on his holidays and he's doing a kind of crossover thing where he's over there with LeBron James, and we know LeBron James has a small ownership stake in Liverpool Football Club, and LeBron James was in his Liverpool hat and Mbappe was over there with him, and then, you know, stories start coming out and 2 and 2 got put together and made 7, and then Paul Joyce, just for bants, I think, retweeted a tweet. And then people just went into meltdown, mate. It's not going to happen. I'd be very surprised if he leaves PSG. In fact, their owner has come out and said that he will 200% be staying there next season. But I do also remember that he came out himself and said that maybe it's time for a new challenge. But I don't think it'll be Liverpool, if I'm being honest. But I'd love it to be. I would absolutely love it to be. Would I take Coutinho back at Liverpool? No, and yes. It wouldn't be anywhere near the top of my list, Ronan, and I wouldn't be giving them even half of the 140 odd million that we sold them for. And I also don't think Jurgen Klopp would want them back at Liverpool, because, as I said before, I think it's probably common knowledge. There was a brilliant article written by Melissa Reddy about the whole Coutinho situation, and one of the things I remember from that article was that when his demands or his attempts to try and engineer a move to Barcelona hadn't been working out, and all the stories were put out, there was a fallout with him and Klopp, and there was the stuff around his back injury and a few other bits and pieces. He apparently went to some senior pros at the club to try to get them to have a word with the gaffer on his behalf, and I think this was the last straw. Now, I can't remember the article absolutely, but I'm sure it's still in Melissa Reddy's account somewhere if you want to have a Google of it. Yeah, and that was the last straw for Kloppo. He just sanctioned the sale then, and it was always down to him. To be fair to FSG, they always left that deal with Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp was the one that said sell him, and he made the right decision, I think, if we look back at it realistically. Remember the crisp salt and vinegar and Smokey Beckham? Yeah, I mean, Walker's nonsense. Look, I'm sorry, I'm Irish. I'm absolutely a snob when it comes to crisps. And look at me, I'm a fat fucker as well, so I've obviously eaten a few bags. What 3 players would I sign? It depends if we're being realistic a lot. Epic Amp. Off the top of my head, I like the Matt Targett thing that we spoke about earlier on. I know. I think that makes sense as a backup at left back. So I'm going to take that as my left back option. Up front, I still think Werner for me, even though it's gone very quiet. Not that I think he'll sign. I mean, he'd be the one that I'd go after. And Fekir. They're the three I'd take. I don't know enough about Pepe or Fernandes to give you an honest opinion. I've been very clear about this since the names have come up. Mbappé we'd all love, but I just don't think it's realistic. Neres, if the price is 80 million, forget that. He's not worth 80 million. Dembele I would take as well at 90 million if Klopp was confident about his attitude. He's down to 5-1 to join us, Mbappé. That just means now people have put money on him joining. That's how odds move down, mate. People put money on, the odds will go down. A couple of people, maybe 300 or 400 quid worth of bets could probably get the odds down. Do we need another centre back or a creative midfielder? The centre back situation, if Dejan Lovren leaves, I would say yes. If Dejan Lovren doesn't leave, I'd say we're sound. Particularly with Keanu Hoover coming through. Creative midfielder, it depends. It depends on what we're looking at, because we're not going to sign a specialist. We're not going to sign somebody that can come in and just play that one position, for instance, at the tip of a diamond or the attacking player in a midfield trio. That's not what Jurgen Klopp does. He likes to sign players that can play in 3 positions maybe. So I would imagine somebody that might come in could be an attacking midfielder, but they could also play either side of the front 3 as well. So I'd be expecting somebody quite versatile and not just a one position specialist. Now, as I said, I don't know enough about Fernandes to know if that's him or not. Pepe can play in a couple of positions, but Fekir does tick 3 boxes. He can play in the wide positions, he can play in the hole. And Dembele as well could play in a couple of wide positions. I don't know if Dembele could play through the centre or not, to be honest. I haven't seen much of him through the centre to say if he could or couldn't. His finishing against us in the new camp needs some work. Kev's put the link in there, by the way. We spoke earlier on about the 12men.com and the fact that if you go on there you can get 10% discount on any other scarves by putting in Anfield Agenda. There's also a direct link there that Kev has posted in as well. And don't forget, Wednesday night we're giving away those 3 scarves. One on Instagram, one on Twitter and one on here. And to be in with a chance to win the one on here, just subscribe, that's it. And then we're working on a few more competitions and giveaways as well. So again, do keep an eye on the channel because we're trying to give away as much stuff as we can. Did you hear about the private jet that landed at John Lennon Airport? I'd seen the pictures, Cameron, but I've yet to see a date stamped picture of the one. I'd seen a picture of a plane, but I didn't see a date on it, which always makes me nervous. Monster Munch, which ones? Are we talking about the flaming ones, mate, or are we talking pickled onion? The Daily Record up here was suggesting that James Forrest of Celtic has been linked by Liverpool. That was doing the rounds in January as well, Douglas. I think 13 million in January was the number that was being mentioned for him. I don't watch Celtic, mate, so I genuinely don't know if he's useless or if he's great. If Ziyech is available for 25 million, we should 200% go for him. I don't think he is available for that 25 million. I think it's not too much more, Levi, to be honest. I just think that 25 million was misinformation that somebody put out there about a buyout clause. It seems like the figure is about 30, although look, we're splitting hairs here really, aren't we? It'd be a decent piece of, he's absolutely worth a roll of the dice for that money, 100%. Dembele would cost 60 million, they owe us 30 million. See, this is where I get a little bit wound up, Steve. You know that 30 million that you're talking about there, buddy? That's still real fucking money. Whether they owe it to us or not, it's still real money that's on a balance sheet that has been worked into our budget. So us just wiping it off doesn't mean that 30 million never existed, mate. We'd still be paying 90 million for them. It would still show up in our accounts as 90 million, whether we write off that 30 or not, because you're not quite writing it off. It's just being moved from one part of a balance sheet to another part of a balance sheet. So it's a 90 million quid deal, whichever way you look at it. I'm not having to go with you, Steve, sorry. It's just we spoke about this earlier on and it was winding me up a little bit on Twitter that so many people were saying, just write the 30 million off, they owe us. It isn't that simple because that's been accounted for already. What else we got? I think Mbappé is a lot more realistic than we think. We're fucking massive, said Jack's page. I like the use of WFM there, Jack, well in. It is realistic. I mean, being blunt about this, if Liverpool wanted to go out there and splurge £200 million on Kylian Mbappe, I think we can afford it. We've spoken about the fact we're looking to bring in maybe 100 million this summer from players, moving on players like maybe Wilson, Klein, Mignolet, Kent. I don't know, maybe a few other players as well. Maybe Grujic. You're talking maybe 100 million there. So I know this is basic, simple maths because there's agents fees, there's VAT, there's so many other taxes and charges and loyalty bonuses and stuff that we just don't think about every day. But we did get 251 million from television revenue. We have posted a profit of over 100 million. We are looking at a really valuable new kit supplier deal coming up over the next 12 months. We are going to be having companies queuing up to work with us. We are back-to-back Champions League finalists. We are not paying ridiculous wages. So yes, I fully believe you're right, mate. We probably could afford it. I just bought tickets for Liverpool versus Norwich. Can't wait. Be sitting in the main stand, said Gareth. Nice one. I looked at some of the hospitality ticket prices, mate, for the main stand. For what games was it I was looking at? I think it was... Oh, God. It was Watford and maybe it was Norwich. But £405 was the ticket price, mate, that I've seen. And I just thought, fuck that. Like that means we've got to buy one for me, one for Connor, and that's €1,000 for 2 match tickets. It's just not going to happen for me, mate. I'm getting over to a couple of games this season, but I'm not paying £400 for a match ticket. Cape Town Muslim said Melissa Reddy, whatever she says, I'm with her. She's a fantastic journalist. She really is. What about War? Spoke about him earlier on, mate. Not really heard much, to be fair, Kane. Maybe you have, buddy. Maybe I've missed something. Owner of PSG ain't selling up. He wants to add and buy Leeds. He's also in a little bit of trouble, isn't he, over the Qatar stuff? Was it the sponsorship deal or something to do with the World Cup or something? I can't remember, but he's in a little bit of trouble. 9 subscribers to go, ladies and gents, till 17,200. So 9 more of you, if you are watching, please do hit that button. Craig, we could sign Gomez from Atalanta, said Adam. Yeah, they're going to want to sell them, mate. That's the thing. They're in the Champions League for the first time. They're probably going to want to have a decent go at it. And they know they're going to bring in decent revenue as well. And add to that the fact that the players playing in the Champions League will only increase their value as well. So they could probably wait. They could probably afford to hang off a year and know that there's still going to be a shit ton of money there for them the following year. Usain Bolt is a United fan. Yes, he is. He also had a go playing football and didn't really work out too well for him. Well, he wasn't too bad at the old sprinting, was he? If you had 2 words to say for Jurgen Klopp, what would they be and why? Mine would be Mbappe now. Simple. If I had 2 words to say to Jurgen Klopp, Jack, they would be thank you. They'd be the 2 words I'd say to him. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything more fitting to say to that man right now than thank you. Do you realistically think we can get Dembele? Yes. I'm not saying we're getting him, but can we get him? Yes. Can we afford him? Yes. Would he like to come to a club like Liverpool if he had to leave Barcelona? Yes. Back-to-back Champions League finalists, reigning champions of Europe. Again, Dembele will not forget what happened at Anfield. He won't forget that 4-0. He won't forget what the crowd sounded like. The images of us parading that Champions League trophy around Liverpool won't have been lost on him either. Now, I'm not saying we're signing him, but we can afford it. We could definitely convince the player, and we've got a great manager and a great club, so yeah, I don't see any reason why not, mate. That Gomez is like 30. We ain't buying players at that age, said Sean Bailey. Would you take Pogba if we could from United? 100 million zillion billion trillion % fuck off. Not to you, Adam, mate. Sorry, Jesus, I didn't mean that at you. I just meant with regards to Pogba. Nah, not a hope. And I'm not running out Paul Pogba as a footballer either. I just don't want him at Liverpool. I think a move back to Juventus or Real Madrid probably sound for him. Nick Powell from Wigan to replace Paul Pogba, said Steve. Again, Steve, mate, I don't want you to feel I had a go earlier on, by the way, buddy, about that 30 million quid thing. That wasn't aimed at you, buddy. You know I love you. What else we got? What signings are we looking, in your opinion? Joel, I'm not going to say things, mate, because I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what the signings are going to be. And anybody who who tells you otherwise, I think, is probably just lying to you, mate, or trying to get views. I won't lie, I don't know. I hope, like the rest of you, I look at the news stories and try and figure stuff out. Stop talking about crisps. I'm on a diet and you're making me hungry. Yeah, I'm on a diet myself, mate, as well, and I'm absolutely starving. Is there any truth in us being linked with Alex McCarthy? I would say there's probably some truth to it. We do need a backup goalkeeper if Mignolet moves on. Alex McCarthy, Adrian, Neil Etheridge, probably the three most realistic ones that I've seen. Whilst, what would Dembele do to the wage structure, though? I don't know, mate. I would imagine we could afford it. I don't know what he's on at Barcelona, so I'm not even going to guess, but probably drop him in 160, 170, 180 grand a week, maybe, something like that. Maybe even push him up to near the 200, I don't know. The front three are in and around the 200 mark that we have at the minute, I believe. Maybe bonuses bring that up a little bit, maybe winning trophies brings it up, I don't know. But again, I think his wages would be something we could do. Let's not forget, Felipe Coutinho apparently took a wage cut to go to Barcelona from Liverpool. So he didn't go there to sign on triple wages. Like, he apparently cost him, was it 8 million or something for that move? I hope you're well, mate. Glad to be back, said Cam. It's great to see you back, mate. I did see your comments after the streams. I hope things are okay for you. Is there a Klopp Dembele Dortmund link? Did their time overlap there together? I don't remember, if truth be told, Gary. The only thing I know for certain is that he rented Jurgen Klopp's house off him. Yeah, that's all I remember. I'm glad you didn't take any offence to you, mate. You know, I think nothing but the best of you. How many signings do you think we'll get this summer? I have 3 in my head, Joel. Off just as a guess, mate, off the top of my head. But of course, depending on players who move on and stuff, that could change. I only want Pepe Reina, said Adam Parks. Stop saying potato sandwich, Eric. You're making me starving, buddy. £23 an hour at Barcelona. That's a reasonable wage, Gary, isn't it? I mean, he's not being greedy there. £23 an hour. Just turned on. What's the news? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I might as well do a bit of a... Before we finish up, do a bit of a recap of the news. Right, so first up, started off by wishing a happy birthday to Liverpool's Champions League winning captain. A happy 29th birthday to Jordan Henderson and, of course, Jurgen Klopp. Then we spoke about apparent news out of Portugal that Liverpool have bid €45 million for Sporting Lisbon's 24-year-old midfielder Bruno Fernandes. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. He scored 20 goals in 33 games last season and had 13 assists, which I believe is a record in the Portuguese top flight division for a midfielder. Again, nothing from the English media though on this. It just seems to stem out of Portugal. Then there was some news from Ajax that they would demand more than £80 million for David Neres, according to the Telegraph journalist Marcel van der Kraan. Then we moved on to talk about Kylian Mbappé, and Paris Saint-Germain's president has ruled out a move from this summer, saying that he will 200% be at PSG next season. We moved on then to have a little talk about 2 players from Southampton that Liverpool are rumoured to be interested in. First up was Alex McCarthy as a potential backup for Alisson Becker if Simon Mignolet moves on. And the second one was Matt Targett, and that makes sense to me as a possible left back backup for Andy Robertson. He's 23 years of age. He was very highly thought of going through the youth ranks. I believe an injury a couple of seasons back held him back a little bit, but now I think it would be a good move for us, and realistic money probably as well. Karius then looks like he wants to stay at Besiktas. He came out and said that I want to stay at this great club. I'll work hard to become better, and I want to win the title with my club next season. Is there anything else I've missed out on? Ajaria is going back to Reading on loan by the looks of it. Ojo going up to Rangers. I think that's about it really. Oh, we're favourites with the bookies to sign Timo Werner at 9-4, and the next favourites are Bayern Munich, and they're in at 10-1. I think that's pretty much a really quick recap of everything we've gone through tonight, mate. Yeah, and I enjoyed doing that one actually. If we get Fernandes for 40 million, bargain. Rabiot on a free. Rabiot isn't coming to Liverpool, mate. He has been speaking over the past week, and the 2 clubs that he personally name dropped were Juventus and Manchester United. He said they'd be both good clubs to play for, and what I read from that is they would be clubs that would pay him a ridiculously high wage. That's what I take from that. And you know, if he did sign for Manchester United, the first thing Liverpool fans, probably me included, would do would pull up his Instagram post of him putting up a picture of Anfield with the heart emoji eyes, basically saying how much he loved it. Okay, what else we got? Okay, Anthony, I don't know what the fuck is going on there, buddy. I don't know what is going on, mate, but talk of dying and stuff in the chat. I don't know what I'm missing out on here, mate, but I know you're only a young lad as well, so maybe if there's something up, mate, have a chat with your parents. I just want to make sure you're okay. I know you're only, I think, 11 or 12 years of age, pal, so whatever's up with you, I hope you talk to your parents, mate. We're selling Ojo or loaning. I think if they're going to get him to sign a new deal before that deal goes through, and then loaning him up to Rangers for the season. I have a feeling we'll sign somebody on Tuesday, said Adam. What do you think on Ziyech? I think, Tommy, at the rumoured 30 million, it's worth a roll of the dice for anybody, mate, isn't it? He's shown he can play in Europe. He's shown he can perform at a very high level. 30 million, yeah, I think it's worth it for anybody, mate, who goes and gets them. Is the Ibala signing true or a rumour? He was linked a while back, Tyler, when there was talk of Juventus being interested in Mo Salah and him being part of the deal. Then the whole stuff around Allegri not knowing what was going on there was up in the air. From my limited understanding of what's going on at Juventus, he wasn't fitting into the system too well with Cristiano Ronaldo there under Allegri. Now, obviously, with Sarri coming in, I'd imagine he'd probably smooth things over and will find a way to get Dybala into that team because he's a class player. Germanus, good night to you, mate. And do you know what, ladies and gents? I think we're only 3 subs away. Can we do it before we head off? 3 more subscribers to go. There's still 500 people watching. Can we do it before we head off for the night? I'll stay on for a few more minutes regardless, because I'm actually really enjoying tonight. I missed you motherfuckers last night. Thought Ajax were wanting 50 million. For who? Or if we're talking about Ziyech, I don't think so. What I'd seen, mate, was 30. But again, you know, it's just media talk, isn't it? And the stuff, who was it somebody said earlier on? It's gone very quiet on that kid from Villarreal. What's his name? Chukwueze, isn't that his name? Has anybody read anything lately on him, on Samuel Chukwueze? I haven't seen anything personally. I know somewhere an article said that they believe that he would want a guarantee, or as close to a guarantee, of first team football as he could get. Craig, will you remember me? I'm 14, massive Liverpool fan. I hope so, mate. Well, I mean, you're part of our channel, Adam, so I appreciate you being here, buddy. And thank you for being on. Would you be happy if we saw Memphis Depay? No, I really wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be fucking fuming, don't get me wrong. I just have serious questions about his attitude, Epic Amp. Quality wise, look, he can be amazing, but from everything I've read about people that know about him and Leon, I'm talking about French journals, they say it has to be all about me for him. He has to be loved, he has to be the centre of the attention, he has to be the pinnacle of the team, and he wouldn't get that at Liverpool. Germanus, thank you very much, mate, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. When you say bend over and touch your toes, that immediately makes me think of the Ludacris song, Romelu. Although it would be bend over to the front and touch your toes, wouldn't it? Any rumours on Awar? Nope, not that I've seen, Eric. Would you take a player for 150, 200 million or 4 players at a cost of 150 million combined to help the squad? I think it depends on the players and it depends on the positions. Yeah, it depends. I would probably go for the latter, mate. I'd probably go for the 4 players if, you know, they're all reasonable players. What else we got? Thank you to everyone, by the way, that are saying congrats and stuff. Thank you to everyone that subscribed as well. I really appreciate it. I really do. Honestly, for our little channel to have gone over 17,000 subscribers this year, in 15 months. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know if it's successful or not successful because I'm quite new to YouTube and I don't know how to gauge these things. But what I can tell you is, on behalf of myself and Connor and everyone, we appreciate it and it means the world to us. Who's my favourite rapper? Jay-Z, of course. It's got to be Jay-Z. Right, what have we got? Is that it? Are we going to head off tonight? Would you sign Bruno Fernandes for Liverpool? Honestly, Aaron, I haven't seen enough of him, mate, to give you an honest answer. I wish I could. I wouldn't tell you lies, mate. I haven't seen enough of him. Yeah, sorry. I know it's not the answer you probably wanted, but it's an honest one. What's going on with Asensio? That's not going to happen, Tyler. He's been linked to us for 3 transfer windows now. 80 to 85 million are the rumours going out of Madrid. It just seems like Madrid want cash and they're trying to just flog everybody, mate. Do you think De Ligt will regret the Barcelona move? It depends on what his options are. If his options are Barcelona or PSG or Manchester United, then the move to Barcelona is probably the right move. If a club like Liverpool were in for him, and I'm not being arrogant because it's Liverpool, I mean genuinely for him getting a chance to progress his career and play, I would take Liverpool. You'd have more stability there. If you go to Barcelona, for instance, you don't know if Valverde is going to be there in 12 months. Whereas you're pretty certain Klopp's going to be here for the 3 years of his career that are left on his contract, I should say. Right. Oh, Kev said, now here you go. There have only been 4 entries for the 12men.com scarf competition on the Instagram account, and here's why. Because Kev wants people to do an impression of me. So he's put in a link in the chat there, and he said DM him with the word comp to be in with a chance to win, and he's put the link into the Instagram page. If you're on Instagram, it's just at Anfield Agenda. Really simple. And yeah, Kev will take you through it from there. And on Twitter as well, all you have to do is check out our pin tweet on Twitter for that competition. We're giving them all away on Wednesday. So again, thank you to the 12men.com. Shout out to at Mo Salah Facts on Twitter as well, a friend of ours. I think I've done everything else. Yeah, I don't think I've forgotten anything. What's the furniture company that's making us that wonderful chair again? Serendipity Furniture, I believe. Massive shout out to them. And wait till you guys see the chair that they're making for us. Holy shit. I think I showed you guys a picture of it the other day. It is ridiculous, isn't the word. It is so class. And I'm going to worship this chair when it arrives. Anyway, look, ladies and gents, I hope you all have a great Monday or rest of a Monday, whatever's left. I will chat to you all tomorrow. We'll be back at 9:30. More transfer rumours. Maybe something will have happened by then. You'll never know. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button before you head off. As always, I will end by saying take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6-time European Cup winning Reds. Love to you all.